It's been about 4 months since I shot a dual review video. It's time to fix that. And let's talk about two of my favorite books. Hey everyone, today I'm going to do a dual review of two truly fantastic works of literary fiction that I love. Two books that I have not talked about since I've had a booktube channel, but are both probably top 15 books of all time for me, and one of them may just be my favorite book of all time. These books, of course, are Life After Life and A God in Ruins by Kate Atkinson. So a few weeks ago, I was on Philip Chase's channel for his segment, Dear Dr. Fantasy, and we had a lot of great conversations. And then at the very end of our talk, he asked me to give him some book recommendations. And I think most of the time, a lot of the recommendations tend to be the fantasy genre. But I talked about these two books, and then I realized that I've never talked about these books on the channel. So it's time to fix that. So let me tell you about these two works by Kate Atkinson. So first of all, Kate Atkinson is an author that writes in a lot of different genres. She's written some crime fiction, she's written some historical fiction, she's written some literary fiction, and I would say both of these are kind of literary fiction that are set in historical fiction eras. So they are kind of together. And I'll explain that as I go along. You don't need to read both of these, but because I love both of these, I want you to read both of these. And I would recommend that you read them in publication order, Life After Life, followed by A God in Ruins. So let me tell you about Life After Life. Life After Life began as a book that Atkinson wanted to talk about the German Blitz of London during World War II. But what she came up with was something so much grander, so much more thought-provoking, and so different from just a straightforward work of historical fiction set during the Blitz. A lot of it is set during the Blitz, but what this book is about is so much more. As the title implies, Life After Life, this follows the multiple life paths of a character named Ursula Todd. And when I say multiple life paths, each chapter essentially takes you through her life. So in one chapter, she has a childhood accident and dies at the age of 6. One chapter, her mother dies in childbirth. She's never born. And of course, because Atkinson wanted to talk about the Blitz, several of the chapters, you see Ursula in the midst of London during the German Blitz. What is most thought-provoking and most powerful about this novel for me is the thematic idea of how life's choices, how those things that happen to us in our lives, our choices and the things that happen to us shape our lives. So the longer chapters where you see Ursula's entire life or most of her life play out, you see the difference between them. They are so compelling. This is a topic I personally think about in my life a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. You think about the decisions you've made in your life. Usually the big ones, like maybe what would happen if I went to this college instead of this one, or this graduate school, or I took this job instead of this one. What if I had not ended this relationship and had done this? All the different things in our lives that shape our lives, we think about that. But what I find most powerful in this book is some of the moments how a scene plays out in such a minor, different way, changes the entire trajectory of Ursula Todd's life. And it's compelling, it's thought-provoking, and it's one of those books that still to this day just percolates in my mind, despite having been, I don't remember when this was released, I'll put it down here, but that's when I read it. I bought it when I saw a review, and I read it right away, and it's been stuck with me for that long. So Life After Life is a fantastic work of literary fiction. I highly recommend. I will say, though, I have talked to friends that struggled with it because of the way the story's told. Her prose is a bit more dense in this book than in A God in Ruins, and in fact, in comparison to a lot of her other books that I've read as well. But I think it's worth going through. She's a beautiful writer with a great command of the English language that is on full display in Life After Life. So, A God in Ruins is considered a companion novel to Life After Life. It's not a sequel, but it's related in thematic idea as well as the main character. The main character in A God in Ruins is Teddy, who is Ursula's brother from Life After Life. And the way it's thematically linked is Life After Life is about the German Blitz of London, and A God in Ruins is about the Allied strategic bombing campaign of Germany, of which Teddy is a bomber pilot. So we follow Teddy in the war, just like in many of the paths of Ursula's story, we find her in the war as well, just in London. So much different kind of tale. It's a much more straightforward tale, until it isn't. I'll talk about that in a second. In A God in Ruins, you follow Teddy's story in the war, and you see what he's doing in this strategic bombing campaign of Germany. But additionally, there are two other timelines that Atkinson shows you. We get a timeline following Teddy's daughter 30 years later, and Teddy's granddaughter 60 years later. So in addition to getting kind of three main characters in this book, we also get to see Teddy through the eyes of his daughter and his granddaughter at different points of Teddy's life. So that's another kind of thematic link between the two books, as we get to see a different perspective of Teddy in these different places. So A God in Ruins is about 600 pages, and about 300 pages from the end, about 30 pages from the end, Atkinson then tells you what the book is really about. And when I hit that page, I used to know which page it was exactly, but when I hit that page, I started to hyperventilate, and then I started to cry. In fact, I kind of feel it right now just thinking about the revelation that was on the page at this point of the book. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Easily one of the most powerful things, if not the most powerful thing I've ever read on the written page. And it was beautiful. It was sad. It was tragic. It was so many emotions that I couldn't process at the time, and I still think about. And I wonder if I reread it, if I get the same feeling knowing that that big revelation is looming, or if it would enrich the reading experience. I'm actually unsure about that. But my first time through A God in Ruins, I got to that point, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Easily the most powerful thing I'd read on a page at that point in my life. So I told a friend that. I think I told him this whole 8 minutes that I've been blathering to you about these two books. And I told him the page number, because I knew it at that time. And I said, and page 5XX, you find out what the book's all about. And he said, sounds great. I want to read these. A few months, no, it's probably a few weeks later. A few weeks later, I get a text from him, and he said, I just hit 5XX of A God in Ruins, and I can't stop sobbing. Easily one of the most powerful things I've read in my lifetime. And I hope that you would perhaps want to read it as well. And if you do, please come back and let me know in the comments below. I will say that I'm doing a bunch of top 10 lists this year, and one of those will be my top 10 favorite novels of all time. This may be number one. So that's a dual review. This is a format that I hope to do more of this year. A lot of you liked when I did the dual review of Babel and Fairy Tale by R.F. Kuang and Stephen King, respectively. And I hope to do more of these this year. And I hope you like this one. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe. Also, you can find me on Twitter and Goodreads for more content. I'd love to interact with you there. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time.